So I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And then we can do roll call.
Everybody comes here.
Susan Dominican here.
Maggie Buckley here. Amber Brown here. And then school verse, I can read it. This is our school. May peace dwell here. May the rooms be full of contentment. May love abide here, love of one another, love of our school, and love of life itself. Let us remember that as many hands build a house, so many hearts build a school. And then is there any audience to address the committee? There's none. Any agenda modifications? One thing I saw was, are we going to do the established committee member roles?
Yeah, member roles is under business.
Do you think that's something we're going to be able to do this time?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. That was the only thing I saw. Okay, so none. And then, so we can approve the minutes from September 14th, 2021.
Motion to approve the minutes from September, what was it, I'm sorry?
14th.
2021.
I will second it.
Okay. Oh, so then go through and Amber Brown, aye.
Aaron comes back.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye. Okay, teleconferencing during the state of emergency.
So this is a new item because of the continuing COVID crisis, state of emergency. They've allowed us to continue to have members vote, attend via video.
Yes.
But to do that, we have to have this on our agenda every 30 days. So
okay.
Every month we'll have this on here saying, yes, we're still
doing it.
Doing it. So I move that we approve the teleconferencing during the state of emergency.
I second. Okay, Amber Brown, aye.
Aaron comes back.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye.
Thank you.
And then financial report.
Over to Jim.
Okay. Everyone hear me okay? We have the financial update for September. So
I can hear you, Jim. I wonder if that's on our end.
Can you hear me okay?
Speakers. Should be good. See if that works. You want to say something, Jim, and see if that helped?
Yeah, how about September highlights?
Okay, fixed it.
Great. Okay, so looking at September, what we're really looking at is significant adjustment down on the expectation for enrollment and attendance, and then the existence of the one-time funds to provide a lot of the supplemental and additional intervention programs that are in the existing budget. Those are being funded by specialized one-time funding. And so this model really shows the shift if we go from where the anticipation of attendance would be back in spring to where it looks like it'll be now, and then how that one-time funding, those federal awards, can be used to support the budget to keep those services in place. But then that's basically, like I say, it's extinguishing it early. So you have a significant amount of federal awards that can be used up to about 3.5 years. In this model, to balance it out, it balances, but it will extinguish the funds in the next 2 years. So just a forecast, right? Not an official budget showing the change. So making those changes shifted the forecast to about a $76,000 loss, which seemed minor when we get to the bigger picture, because getting to that level is using $624,000 of the one-time funds. So it's about a $700,000 gap, right? And we had that 624 that we could identify in the budget and say, here's where that's being used to maintain these services, decreasing the amount that in a previous budget model would have been there in the future. So we really don't see a lot of change in overall revenue because we're just shifting the recognition of federal revenue, right? So the ongoing revenue is dropping from budget, but the one-time revenue is being increased to offset most of that. Then the expenses are higher than the original budget because we have a lot of grant-funded activity here. So expenses are a little more difficult to review compared to budget until we get to a revised budget probably next month, because it's meaningful to add more interventions, more social, emotional, more materials, different supports in this year coming back to campus, offset by that revenue. So fortunately, while I talk about all that bad news, cash is at $665,000 at the end of September. So we feel very good about that. And along with that, key item right now is federal money. The largest component of that is the Sr3 funds. And that requires an official expenditure plan to be approved before October 29th. So I want to note that that's in the agenda and in the cycle for this month to approve the plan for the Sr3 funds as we consider that as part of this forecast. So the real driver is the change in the expectation with enrollment and attendance. And so when the budget was developed in spring, we were working with the 290, 270 ADA. And with the early attendance trend in place, this forecast has been reset to an enrollment 271, ADA goal of 252. And you can see that the first month is currently reported at only about 243. So to get to the 252 ADA for the whole year, we're still going to need that full enrollment plus good attendance to end at 251 plus, 251, 252. So we have to be on watch. Even that might not look feasible for the whole year. We might have to adjust down. And we're working at about 10,000 per ADA. So just that 1-2 ADA, we're already at $20,000, right? Using a UPP number, also important here, throwing around these acronyms, the unduplicated pupil percentage of about 58% for the LCFF calculation. So we should have the first reporting for that from October now. So if we have any variance, we're going to want to modify our expectation there if we don't look like we're reporting UPP about 58%.
Can I ask a question? Is ADA, is that actual like attendance, daily attendance? Is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah, so fortunately in California, it is calculating every day. So October 6th was an important day for enrollment, but the attendance funding is actually continuing to count every day. What was your rate of actual attendance?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The revenue model, you can see that the key here is the use of the specialized funds. And so this forecast model has front loaded more of those funds 21, 22 than in the previous. So with an assumption of ADA drop at 200,000, this puts all the ESSER2 into this year, leaving only 563 for next year. So you can get supports in place of about 624,000 this year, 563,000 next year, but then there will be none available in year 3. Now, just a forecast at this time, but just showing in order to make it balanced this year, if we put the focus on success in 21, 22 and all of its challenges, this is what the out years look like for for that multi-year funding.
This is anticipating attendance will stay where it's at.
Yeah, using the model for 21-22, we need a 252 plus ADA going forward in 21-22. So about a 270 enrollment, 252 attendance, and then similar in future years. So if we use that same model for future years, again, don't have to decide on the future yet. But if you use the full 563 next year at this level of support, it would be about 159 short. And you could calculate out that year 3, you'd be running, $700,000 off, would have to be cut from a 270 enrollment at the level of support you have today. So, this is an unusual year for enrollment. But you're going to want to keep your eye on that. If it's going to be balanced on enrollment, how realistic is that expectation? Just keeping in mind, maybe there are more supports now that you anticipate in place, or you anticipate some lower costs in 23-24, but it's a very significant gap at this time, just in consideration when we have multi-year money, what year 3 is looking at. So the expense variance, when we get to a revised budget before first interim, most of the expense variance really is just taking into account that you have grant funding for additional supplemental supports, more summertime, more intervention, more social emotional supports. So these expenses really aren't overages. These are approved hours, additional time and supports for the students that's being funded by that revenue increase. So the budget was originally built to use a lot of one-time funding to provide more services this year, and was assumed to be in a break-even range. This model is at the $76,000 loss because you can get there without using any of the Sr3, because like I said, looking at year 2 is already short. So a goal was to see what would we forecast this year at if we used all the funding but didn't use the Sr3. That's why 76 might seem kind of random, but that's what that number was. So more money probably could be moved to that, but it would cost next year. It would just reduce next year's budget. With that support, that $624,000, the fund balance would still end at $1 million, solid number, 28% of annual expenses. Cash, other than potential for a current operating loss, cash is still solid. So if the operations can continue at about break-even range, cash has established itself right around that 15% line, which is a good target for available cash every month. And so that is forecast to remain steady unless the operating loss were to increase. A lot of compliance notes. Some of these already passed. We had October 6th was count day. We had some reporting due on October 6th, and then the Sr3 plan is due for approval before the 29th. Then we have reporting at the end of the month, and believe it or not, coming up on the first interim soon. That'll be the October close will populate the first interim. So that'll be coming up real soon. The balance sheet picture, you can see the real change is the collection of the significant amount of AR at the end of last year with the deferral timing back to a normal AR timing, solid cash, and then front availability of some of that federal money is the deferred revenue. Otherwise, that pretty healthy, normal looking balance sheet, just a little more advanced cash than a typical. Are there any questions about this September forecast financial presentation update?
I think we're good, right? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Do we do it for anything here? Yes. Okay.
I will move that we recommend to the board that they accept the financial reports as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
And then Amber Brown, aye.
Kyron come back.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye.
Didn't see the point of sale transactions. Did we have those?
Yeah.
This time, did I miss them?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I guess I did see them now that
Yeah.
you showed them to me again. I did see them.
But just a comment, I think we really need to start reaching out to through Parent Square right now, just the families about the truth that this attendance really is hurting us right now.
And I mean, you know, I'm probably as guilty as any other parent. Like one of my kiddos was out for 3 days and I just totally spaced on signing them up, you know, for, it would have made sense, but I was thinking kindergartner, but I mean, that's 3 days, you know, it's a big deal.
Reminders are helpful.
Yeah,
We could probably do more of that.
sure. And I think, even though I sit through these meetings and I should know, I was even still a bit confused on the process. And so I had a teacher remind me, and then she did wind up sending an email out to all the parents. So that would probably be helpful, is just the steps, because I know it's different now. And Ali pointed that out, that we actually have to go to the office and the office goes straight to the teacher and they're totally cut out of that process.
It's a change from last year, that's for sure.
And then I had a suggestion. I don't know if this is something that would go over well with all the teachers, but I know one of the issues too is like the teachers having something available to give. Is it something that they can have pre-made packets? Like, does it have to be specifically what they're learning in class? Or I know that would be ideal, but if they're, you know, I mean, obviously something that's relevant, but maybe, you know, if it's like,
We have about 2 weeks worth of emergency packets
Oh,
that
okay.
we hand out, especially if somebody's gone for a couple of days. Generally, we don't ask the teachers to do that unless they have some foreknowledge of the
Okay.
student being out, so that we can say, oh, they're gonna
oh, and
be
that's
out
what,
next week,
okay.
and then the teacher
that
can
makes sense.
prepare it as part of their lesson
And-
planning. So
okay.
we have that. And there is a plan, though it's not in effect yet, to do more than one emergency packet, so we could do 3.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have a timeline on it.
Yeah, no,
That's-
okay.
That's the plan.
Well, that makes sense, because I did know, like, one of mine had an appointment and was gonna be out, and so that they did go to the teacher, so now okay, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
And that's the front office has those, so
Yeah,
they can just hand it over. when,
okay,
You know.
great, okay, but yeah, the reminder's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's huge, I know.
a
That's, I
ton
mean,
of
that is-
unexcused absences over this month already.
Well, it's been, you know, with the COVID issue, it becomes, that's why our numbers are down.
Yeah,
so
parents are, I mean, speaking as a parent, you're keeping your kid home more, for sure.
often.
You're just doing it more out of caution.
Mhm. And that's acceptable,
Yeah,
just not financially a good idea.
right,
So,
so,
and, you know, to make a decision between the school finances and the child's health, there's no question. So, you know, yeah, if we can do the independent study, that's helpful to the school. It's also helpful to the child, especially if they're not really sick so much as being kept home, to make sure they're not sick, that, you know.
yeah, is there
Yeah.
something that can be, I know this is a lot of work, but can it be preemptive to the parent? Like, can we say, just, hey, there's an option if you like, when they call out, like an email we send out, or is that a lot of work?
I think that's been done.
I think we do that with a one call.
I think we do that.
But we can check and see if maybe rephrasing it will shake some cobwebs up. Sometimes you get the same.
Totally.
You don't.
Like I said, I
You
should have
don't
known
hear
how
it.
it worked and I still needed the reminder, so.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I know you guys can only do so much. Because
Yeah, and
it's
I
also
hate-
hard when you have a sick kid at home to sometimes come and pick stuff up and do that too. So yeah, it's a challenge all the way around.
Yeah, so it's just, and just figuring out when all of the changes as they happen during the school year have been difficult too. Just, by the way, here's a new rule for you.
I know. And then it's hard because sometimes you tune out what the new thing is and you go back to what the old one was, which was basically what I did. Like I just went straight to the teacher because I forgot. The other thing is that I think one thing that I kind of picked up when Jim was saying it's just something to be mindful and to look at for the forecasting is that we're probably not gonna, there's a possibility we're not getting those students back, right? Even if they homeschool, that might work better for them and we're not getting them back. So really the idea is like all the extra marketing things we're doing to pull more students in, because thinking those kids are going to come back is probably not going to happen. So, right.
We shouldn't plan on it.
Right. That's what I'm saying, like planning on that. So that was the only thing I kind of picked up that was a little worrisome.
I'm trying to target the lower grades too, like kindergartners and first grade, second grade, third grade parents are more open to the new, being a new parent, and they volunteer more and they're more likely on a tour to sign up and get their kids on board to start the program. So that's kind of our
and
our
that's
target.
also one of the difficult issues with COVID is that families are comfortable with their kindergartners and first graders at home because they figure, well, we can do that with them, and so it's
that makes sense.
And so we have seen throughout education in California a drop in enrollment for kindergartners and first graders. Not because they've moved out of state, but literally because they're just not taking them to school. And kindergarten is still an optional thing. So
you think that would work to our favor because it's almost like home.
It
is.
The kindergarten here. It really does feel that way.
Yeah.
I think COVID has also really scared people a lot too.
Yeah.
They haven't, they can't, there's really no vaccine ready for a child that age, and then they probably wouldn't take it anyway. So
It's
for the fear.
It's a fear.
Yeah.
We're still doing this.
It can be a downer, but we can only forecast this to get worse really once we get into the winter months and
Thanks a lot.
when the real colds come around.
It's definitely worrisome, and I think it's probably something you guys watch, and then budget wise, if things have to be cut, then we start doing that.
Yeah, and that's
all the expenses.
Jim and I had a good talk about the budget and where we are, and I really feel like the things that we're doing and implementing right now are really important for learning loss recovery. And so to start pulling back on even, Maggie and I are working on some additional intervention materials that the teachers are asking for, and assessment materials, and even cutting back on those is like, this is not the time, because we need to figure out what the students need. So that's why he's looking at, okay, where will we be a year out? But this is, to me, this is not the time to,
well, it seems like
the time to figure out what children need.
Yeah, and it feels like it might be a next year where the actual
we may
might
have to look
cut,
at
but
some things differently next year.
Okay.
All
right.
How often when does independent study come through for us? Meaning, like, how long does it take to get approved, and does it bump our attendance rate back up once it's approved?
Yes, the standard answer to that in average is about 2 weeks after. So the student is absent this day, it takes about 2 weeks to get the processing and get attendance back. That can adjust to 1 week or so, but the whole process of getting things turned in, getting them graded, and getting the attendance calculated takes a little time. So it's not
Well, at least our attendance could jump up a tiny
it could
bit.
bump up. Could possibly bump up.
That's a lot of extra work though in the office to have to process all that too, though.
It is. We're a busy place.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So business, established committee members roles.
So I think I usually act as I will offer to be the assistant chair and secretary. So that I can do those. So if you're gone, I'll run the meeting and then I also send minutes.
Okay, great.
But if opposes that, they're welcome to take it on.
Thank you.
And so you'll be the chair and I'll be the vice chair.
Okay, great. Are those the only 3 things we need?
Do we need to
Secretary?
vote on that?
We do need,
Do you need to vote on
somebody
that?
needs to make a motion.
Okay,
I
make a
probably shouldn't
motion.
leave me.
I make a motion to accept Susan as the co-chair to the finance committee, and we've already established Amber Brown as the chair.
And secretary?
I'm also the
And
secretary.
also secretary. Okay.
Do I have a second?
All right, let's second the motion. Susan, be the co-chair.
Amber Brown, aye.
Karen comes back.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye.
Okay, so the SR3 expenditure plan. Can I have like a brief explanation of that? As brief as you
Sure.
can. I was kind of reading, but.
Yes, so the elementary and secondary schools emergency relief funds are the third, so there are 3 pieces of it, and we've already gone through and approved the first 2 and implemented them.
Okay, yes.
And so
okay.
this is just the third
One,
piece.
okay.
And it's federal money, comes to us, from the feds, through somewhat the same process as Title I comes
Right.
to us. And so what they wanted is they're giving us $563,000 and wanted to know how we were going to spend it.
Right, and there is some parameters, right?
Yes,
Okay.
There's a specific amount. There's really there's really 2 areas: return safely to school, and addressing learning loss. So
Okay,
those are the
okay.
2 areas. There's an option for a third, but we just use those 2. There's plenty to do in those 2 areas.
Yeah,
So those are the parameters. that
so
we're
the things that we
expecting
were
us to
just talking about, some of those things are being paid for underneath these
do. Under
funds.
these, yeah. So this would be if we spend all this, if you went back to his proposal about the money that would be spent next year, that would pretty much be
Yeah.
this money.
I understood, but I just want to make sure I had all the pieces together.
got it.
So do we need to like approve this plan or approve for do we approve for the charter council?
We advise the charter council
Council
to approve it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we need to do.
Okay, so I need a motion to advise the charter council to approve the SR3 expenditure plan.
I will make the motion for the charter council to approve the SR3 expenditure plan.
And I will second that.
Amber Brown, aye.
Karen comes back.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye.
Approved. Marketing contract.
So looking at our numbers from where they were and our marketing, we've sort of had we started it and we've sort of had it every 3 months, a revisit of our marketing. So with the reality that of where we are, I went ahead and asked MC2 to propose before I shared them. Let me talk before you show them the numbers. So I asked them to propose what a marketing plan might look like. What they did was do a plan which was like, this would be the gold standard of a plan and how we may not want to do everything in the plan, but this is the kind of things we might do in it. So they got us this proposal yesterday and we wanted you to take a look at it and so we can talk about where we want to go with our marketing strategy from here.
And then are we already budgeted for this?
We are not already budgeted for this.
Okay, so this would not be
we
budgeted.
Yeah, so we would need to ask for an adjustment in the budget also. So this is for the second half of this year. So what we've been doing up to now is the Facebook advertising and the Google search advertising. That's shown there.
Do we know how many, I try not to use my marketing, like leads that we got on it and how many students from?
We know how many leads we received. We showed you that a couple months ago. We had the circles and so forth. How many students that were directly came from that? We don't have that information. Do we, Alex? I don't think we do.
I don't know if that was, it was more like clicks, and that's as closely related to engagement, kind of like going on a tour, calling us, like reaching out. So that's as closely.
Well, we could take, but they send us the leads, or we have the names that the lead. I mean, how do they connect them to? I'm just curious on how do they know it came from them? How do you guys know that it came from Facebook or Google or from the actual ads?
Oh, they have on the Google ads, they have it like linked directly to our website, and they have a phone number, and they have a couple of other things. But on our website specifically, each page they had me put like code on each page, so we know like where they came from and how they got there. So when she showed us, it showed us like 70% came from the Google ad, and this many percent came from Facebook, and this many percent came from some like other source like North State Parent Magazine or something like that. So maybe we could resend out all that information. It was a lot of information.
I'm just wondering if they do they have it drilled down to where they actually know like the person's name that contacted you and can connect it to?
I don't know, but they have most of the demographics of the types of people that were reaching out to us and where they're from and all those things.
Okay, I would think that they would know that information.
They would have the name too.
I would think that they would. I worked in marketing in a different time, so I'm pretty sure that they have that. I would be surprised if they didn't. I'm just curious if we did gain any students from it, because it would, and how many leads. And then if we didn't gain any students, but we did get the leads, then we can just kind of more assess what we would actually need from them. It would be interesting to see that more of that data. I'm sure they could probably put something together, because it's going to be a big expense that we're not budgeted for to get students. So if we're not getting the students though, or we're getting it from one section, or we're getting them and they're coming in here, but they're not actually signing up for school. So where are we losing them there? So it might just be interesting to see that. Would be my 2 cents. So it's kind of a bummer direct mailing so expensive.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, because I just feel like
I saw that.
I'm just trying to think when I looked for a school what I did, but word of mouth is always the best. I'm just trying to think of.
Well, and so, that's direct, and that's the kind of questions they're asking us. So that's a direct mailer to every home in Butte County.
Right.
Would we want to do that,
And is some of this like per clicks? Like, is it just $1,000 to run the campaign and then we charge per clicks, or?
I think these ones up here say that
monthly digital
this is suggested, but it is per click, so we might not hit that max, which I don't think we did in the.
But these are the maxes. This is the max amount.
I think it's what they're suggesting that we would most likely spend.
So so 7 months total. Okay, so that's monthly. That's the 7 month total. Can you scroll down a little bit, Alex? Do you mind? Sorry, I didn't look at this before.
Are we able to pick and choose the things that we want?
Yeah, that's
what they're.
Because I'm just, if we didn't get anything from that, just hypothetically, could we try something different? Not still with them, but something different than what we were already doing. So I'd just be interested. It's a bummer. Billboards are expensive too.
Yeah.
So really it's just the ads. Like if we got stuff from Facebook, but not, I mean, I would assume we probably got more from Google searches. Or maybe, and are they will they do it on like a 3 month instead of 7 months?
Yes.
Yes. Sure.
Okay. Because I would say shorter. Will the price change if it's a shorter contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's a monthly, so they would just charge us for 3 months instead of 6.
Okay, so it doesn't, we're not getting a deal for doing 7 months.
No, not
Okay.
to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, I agree to make it shorter because I don't think we get a lot of spring enrollment.
Mhm. And I would even wonder if it would be better. Maggie, when do you guys get the most increase? Isn't it right now?
I think it is right now. It's in the summertime, we get a lot.
Okay.
And in the winter, right around December and January, that's when we get our bump for kindergarten.
Because my suggestion would be to target market in the months that only in those months, just to save money. So like if we target market, like, I don't know, December, January, or if you think it's like end of November, December, and beginning of January, and even figure out how we're target marketing the younger kids too, because I would assume that's sort of a different strategy and maybe the way they're doing the ads or how, and then for summertime, that's when I feel like maybe you're getting the parents that are wanting a change.
Yeah.
So then
we do that at semester time too.
That too.
Yeah.
So I would,
when the grades come out.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So I would be interested if they could, and I get that this is just plain and simple what it could be, but I would be interested in them doing it more, the timeframes that we know, obviously a little bit before we know that we're going to get a lot of that student, the interest, like a couple weeks before, is I would rather market it big time in the big months and not in the other months than keep it going all year round.
Yeah. So we're really looking at now through November as being a really good time to market. December, people don't spend that much time thinking about school, Christmas, right? Christmas time.
So I wonder if they would do like a 2 months on,
and then
like 2 or 3 months off, 2 months on, like 4 months off, and then hit it nice in the summertime. And I don't think parents would be looking like right into summertime. It's usually like a couple of weeks at least in. They take a breather. So that's what I would see if they could write something up like more specific like that. And then maybe find out too where we did get the most leads from, just because we could be choosier with the marketing money. And then, maybe we will see where that comes from and do something different next time, but that's my 2 cents.
So that's really,
if I get that much
media.
say. I don't know if I have that much say.
Well, we're advising the board as to what we think. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you get a vote on both committees.
Okay,
so
well,
a lot to say.
Okay. And that's my double 2 cents.
Yeah, your double 2 cents, 4 cents. So you're talking about really focusing still on the social media campaign.
Yeah, I don't know. I would be interested to see what we're getting from social media, because I'm sure there's a certain type of parent that looks on social media and maybe the ad pops up. But my thing is that the ad's popping up if they were searching for schools outside of social media. So that's how they track the marketing that way. So your Google search is attached. So then once you go into Google search, it's almost like a reminder in Facebook. The ad pops up. Oh, remember Blue Oak? You were on Google looking for them. If I remember correctly, that's kind of how it works. So I would be interested to see just how many Google search we got just off of Google search, if we even needed the Facebook.
I don't think we've started this.
We didn't do that
yet. We've been doing they've been helping us make our social media look nice.
Nice. Okay.
The media campaign, but I don't know if we've started the ads on Facebook just yet.
So we only
we talked about that at the last one.
We have just,
They've just been helping us curate content. So that would be
we have done some ads. We've been
Uh-huh.
doing some ads also. I think they're Google though. I'm not sure they're Facebook. It's one or the other.
Yeah, we've been doing the Google ads and then the social media campaign, but I don't know if we've started Facebook ads per se.
You haven't started that one? Okay. Because if they were willing, if we weren't doing them, then maybe it would be a good idea to double up on it for a shorter period of time. That way we get maximum exposure for a shorter period of time. And they do get that reminder, you were looking at us, we're in there. And that might be helpful. I was thinking more if we weren't doing it and it wasn't helping, but if that wasn't going on, that might be helpful. And a shorter period of time may be less expensive. because I would steer away from doing it for full 7 months, because I don't think we need it. And then I would also make sure like they are doing they're really targeting kind of the younger student demographic for this time of the year, and then change it
to the full.
Yeah.
In January, February.
Because I feel like too, this is also the time that some parents are gonna be like, phew, this is hard doing it at home. Maybe we can be targeting those parents that are like, this is like a home kindergarten. You know, this is a transition kindergarten for children that are coming straight from that environment, and really pushing that message, because it's true. It's very true, but it also will ease those parents. I mean, that was like the number one for me, putting the kids in kindergarten here, the ones that were transitioning straight from home. I mean, that's probably something I think we have over
we do.
any other school, that home visit, that really nurturing environment that we create at a very young age with the kindergarten. So really pushing that message may be helpful in the marketing, because that's what Maggie was saying, that the parents are fearful of that kind of letting go, and which I totally understand, and putting them in a different environment. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know about the direct mailers. It's awfully expensive.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, I just throw that stuff straight in the trash without looking at it.
that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. We should just do online. I was just thinking it was a bummer. Those things are so expensive.
We did have an ad once in the News and Review. How much was that? Does anyone know?
13,000.
Yeah. those
Okay,
are
so that was,
expensive.
it was a huge
Yeah.
ad. but-
That would be, yeah, doing a billboard. I would say if we could afford it.
It's a nice
billboard.
spread.
Yeah. That would be nice. 13,000, but yeah, that's really expensive. And that 4 panels for 6 months though. Wow. That's expensive though. I wonder how much it would be for 3 months to do a
Parent,
billboard.
we have Growing Up Chico
Somehow, but the
ads, and we have the
billboards don't work
what's
that way.
that?
They do it
Go-
like-
That's
They
right.
went up there for
Or
6 months
state
because the
parent.
work to put them up. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I would see if they would,
it could reduce the number of panels though, I think.
could you?
That's- Yeah. I think.
I mean, obviously, getting one student that attends regularly would pay for it if you think of it like that, but it
Yeah,
is,
that's exactly how I think of it.
yeah. But do you think that maybe you can, I mean, it's expensive, so just out of curiosity, maybe they would let us know if there was other options for the
To
less
reduce-
panels, like you're
Yeah,
saying for the
less
billboard,
panels or less months.
or less
whichever.
months or something to that. And then doing more of like wherever you guys' heavy traffic time already times would be,
Yeah,
doing the marketing based around that.
so we're not suggesting that we're interested in the direct mailers.
No. I was
Okay,
just, sorry.
just-
I was
that's-
just,
no,
I was just stating that that was a lot of money. I couldn't believe how much
Yeah, it is a
that
lot.
is.
Mhm.
No, I mean, if I was gonna, if it was my money that I was gonna spend, I would definitely not do it on
And
that.
like it
Well,
says,
it is.
printing costs not included.
So the billboard
Like it's
design,
double.
Mhm. Yeah,
oh yeah, I didn't even see that.
yeah, so the billboard design is MC2, and then the placement, we'd have to rent space out.
And
so.
I would imagine once that's designed, then we have that.
Yes, that would
Okay.
be another reason to get it done. is
Okay.
Then
Cool.
we can then put it out again over the summer or something like that. if we want.
Yeah. that would be
The only thing I could say is like Chico has a population of about 95,000. And then all of Butte County is over 200,000, isn't it?
Right,
So I don't see why we need to send mailers to Oroville.
Right, you'd probably.
right, it probably would be
You could probably
closer
cut
to
it in half.
8,000 rather than 18,000, I would say, probably to do Chico.
Yeah, I would just be interested to see those prices and that.
Okay.
Is this something that you were trying to move on pretty quickly?
I would like to get it so that we have a plan and can get it in place in November. I think.
November, yeah.
November's the month that everybody says people are looking for charter schools. And so I would want to make sure we have something out there then. Though we do already have what we're doing now, so it's not like.
Oh, we
we're not
are
gonna do
doing
any
marketing right now, so, oh,
Yeah,
okay, so
but
there is
this
something
is more
right.
of a, you know, additional, and and talking. The enrollment is an issue statewide, as we talked about last month, and is an issue for Chico in particular. All of the charters have numbers that have dropped, even the online ones. So it's, you know, this families are not enrolling right now in school.
Are we getting phone calls right now? I mean, are we still getting interest?
We do. I
Okay.
had 7 signed up for the tour last week.
Oh, okay, so we still get a lot of interest.
Yeah, I had
Oh.
3 come, not 7, but now we are
I mean, that's
getting
still.
calls and getting people signed up for it.
So can we say like, we approve this with also supplying the charter council with more options and possibly some of the marketing information?
Right, well, we could just say that we've asked for MC2 to give us some additional information.
But will it have to come back here before then it can go to, I'm trying to prevent that for you, if that's possible.
Well, no, I would recommend to the board that they increase our marketing budget.
Okay.
Based on
this
and then ask for more information, and that gives us a week to get the more information for the board.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
But what helps me is that you're saying, yes, we want to increase the marketing. That's
okay. Yes.
puts us in the right direction.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
then you've given us some like pros and cons of different things, so we can work with MC2 to have a more a better
something a little bit more targeted. And, okay, great. So do we need like a motion to approve? So we need a motion to approve an increased marketing budget. So
okay, well, I will move to recommend to the board an increased marketing budget under the guidance of our discussion today.
That's perfect. I guess that's good. Yeah, I will second that.
So if I get one of those direct mailers.
Amber Brown, aye.
Everyone comes aye.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Aye.
Okay, so approved.
I think Rachel volunteered to make the billboard.
Oh, she did, did she?
Advanced document.
Can I be called upon or no?
Oh, did you have a comment?
I can just talk to you later about things, Susan, about the marketing.
Okay.
Billboards and such.
Do you like billboards? Are you pro or anti billboard?
No, I love billboards. I think I was curious if I thought we had done a billboard previously or we had talked about it. And so I was wondering if we had already created a design, if we needed this company to create a design or if we can do it ourselves.
I think we need this company to create a design. It's just, you know, Alex and I have been working with them on the design element, and that just comes out. It just pops better when they do it. So I think that's worth the 1,500 to have one designed well, and then we can maybe put it up, move it around in town, and that sort of thing. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Maggie, you want to talk about Michael Fogelman? Our good friend.
Yes, our good friend at Advanced Document Concepts approached us about, we have several copiers that we lease through them. And one of the copiers is quite old. It's currently housed in the upper grades hall. It's this copier down here. It's running, it's functioning. It's just getting to the point of where we're going to be paying for more maintenance and more additional things that will need to be done to it to keep it running smoothly. And if we were to, the proposal here is for a new contract, which we will be actually cutting down on our monthly costs for that.
Nice.
You can see the total program savings over the course of the contract is $12,000.
That's a 5-year contract.
It's a 5-year contract. It's $300 per month, and then we have service and supplies is $65, and you can see the current costs above and the savings. So
is this like, do these do color copies?
So this is not a color copier, it's just a black and white copier. There's only one color copier in the building.
And is it code protected?
It is coded,
Okay.
code protected.
3 people in this room are the only ones with the code.
I think you're right, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's just, it's an option for us to have a functioning copier where we don't have to worry about.
And we're saving money, so.
Right.
We're
Sounds
saving
like
money.
We're saving money, we're getting a newer machine and.
Newer machine.
So we just need to approve
Yeah.
the
Just
purchase
need to approve the
and
purchase
contract,
and the
or?
contract.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only thing I worry about is the 5-year contract, but
I think usually those can be up to like 10 years. Sometimes, I don't know, the copy contracts are lengthy, but they usually include mostly all the maintenance, right?
What's great about this company is we don't really have to call them when we have a problem a lot because it's all digital, it's all electronic. So they get messages from the copier when we need toner or and it's automatically shipped to us. And also when there's an issue with the copier, I've picked up the phone and they go, oh yeah, we know, we're just gonna call you.
Oh,
So
nice.
they're really a great company. They're right on Nord. They're local.
Oh, they're
They're
local. That's
supporting
nice.
local
Oh, I like
business.
that.
There's just a lot of good things about them.
And those are good copies.
They helped us make the transition from having multiple different copiers in the building to just one type of copier, and it's really
that can be a real headache if those don't work. That can really be like a day ruiner.
Number one teacher
complaint is
yes, I can
our
imagine.
copiers are down or we're out of paper.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Nothing is worse than when the copiers are down and papers out.
And yeah, and I think
Since-
most of these companies, I mean, I probably think you could maybe get a 3-year, maybe, but most of them want 5, even like 10 years sometimes.
So
That's okay by me.
I'm curious, have we been using more paper
we
this
are.
last
We
year?
are. We have been using probably, quite a bit more.
Does this have a nice scanner attached to these two?
It does have a scanner. They can scan. Yeah. So
I wonder
this
why we,
particular one,
We used a lot more last year because of
Sure.
distance learning, but I don't know.
I don't know that this school year, since we've started, we've
Yeah.
increased our use, but definitely last year was a big.
So, and whenever we're gonna have independent study, which even though we gone away from distance learning for the majority of the school, that's always more paper. No matter what you do, there's always.
yeah, I'm just thinking about like our math curriculum and Sadler and all that. That should be less paper used in the end.
Right, because
Yeah.
because we're buying the.
For
I was
sure.
just gonna say that because I feel like my kiddos have less because now they have books too. So
We do have to consider special education now, and the printing of IEPs is still one of those things that has to happen, and those are big.
Mhm.
And,
a lot. I mean, to me, we're saving money and it's a better
Sure.
printer,
So this is one new printer.
One new printer, really, all the others are fairly new.
And it keeps them
Yeah.
under the same, and they're under the same
They're under the
contract.
same contract,
Mhm.
same company.
Does it extend it for all of them? They're just wrapping it all into one
No, they're
contract?
just going to probably add this as another invoice.
Okay, but it'll stay, are you guys gonna have to sign a whole new contract for all of them together, or they just gonna
No,
wrap
just
that one
this
into
one.
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have
We have
Four-
contracts.
three or
for the
four
other ones
separate
that are-
contracts.
yeah.
And they're separate? Oh,
It's just
okay.
this one.
So it's only this one that's gonna be 5 years?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
That's
it's
nice.
beyond what I can approve, so that's why you
Okay.
guys get to see it.
So do I have a motion to
I will
approve?
motion to approve the new Kyocera copier in the upper grades hallway for a 5-month, 5-year contract.
Do I have a second?
I will second it.
Amber Brown, aye.
Karen comes out.
Susan Dominican, aye.
Thank you, thank you.
Little things in life. Approved.
Novel thing.
I
New
know.
photocopier.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah.
I should not downplay the
It's
photocopy
not a
machine.
little.
I have to
I
say,
know,
these copiers
I know. What was
are
I
so much
thinking?
better than what
Aren't
we
they?
used to have.
Oh my
I
gosh, they're
know.
so great. They're so great. Even like just
What we
scanning
had
stuff
before
nowadays.
was a
too.
nightmare. It was like a weekly thing.
Maintenance guy.
Maintenance guys here all
And
the
you have to pull
time.
them apart.
Oh my gosh, it was so terrible.
Fun times.
Practically need one full-time person just to
We
keep.
really
Copy
did.
machine
We
going.
had people just
I've
on
worked in
that.
busy offices where we made lots of copies, so I
Yeah.
understand the struggle.
Okay, so back to marketing. Another issue that we have discussed with them is potential for some video to be produced for us. So that's this. This is in addition to the other marketing plans.
So this is something that would run like here at the campus, or what would they use it for?
I think this is the description.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, there we go.
So this would be with our Google searches. People would have a video to watch. Is that for our social media? Like if someone saw us on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's just for us to use around. So it seems like the 3 different kinds are catered to different platforms.
I
Like
see.
the 30 seconds we could put on Instagram or Facebook. The 1 minute could be like a quick on our homepage maybe. And the 2 minute, we have that older one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Kind of like in your place of that almost. We don't have to get rid of that one, but
Yeah.
a newer one.
Would this video be specifically talking about the Waldorf learning experience? What it would be focused on, and maybe explaining that a bit to parents, or what would be the focus of the video?
Focus is Waldorf as part of what Blue Oak does. So when we've done the marketing, we've talked a lot about the fact that Waldorf itself can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And so talking about what children receive here and how parents see what their children receive here is more the message than this is Waldorf. So it is addressing Waldorf, but through the lens of Blue Oak. This is what the term that I have liked that they've used is kind of why Blue Oak? Why would you want to bring your kids here?
Mm-hmm.
And going from that, which mentions Waldorf, but it doesn't try and explain Waldorf.
Sure.
Because it's too
much
cerebral.
Yeah.
For a 30-minute segment. Yeah. So just to have when you go on Facebook, or there's often a video, and people spend a little more time looking at a video than an ad, and so that's part of that.
Will they do the filming then?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be cool to include something like a slideshow within the video showing things like the Harvest Festival.
Yeah.
You know,
I
with
mean,
narration over it.
I think parent testimonials would be cool, but I just am wondering how much you can really do in 1 minute. And then a 30-second clip. I guess that's, I'm trying to visualize how much you could actually get into that.
Yeah, it would be good if we had a sample.
Yeah.
What we're looking at.
Almost
And
like
then just probably, and then, I mean, we can suggest this for the council to look at. I'm not like opposed to that, but I, you know, not speaking in that capacity, but kind of, I would probably want to know more of what we would hope to obtain from this video, where exactly we would use it, and what we've already gotten returned on what we have so far that would want us to do this. So I don't think it's a bad idea, but I'd almost rather them, if they were going to take the time to do a longer video that included testimonials that could be broken up and been marketed in different ways than just that one way. If you were going to take the time to do it, we were going to spend this money.
Okay.
Because that's something that you can even send out when people are interested in the school. Oh, let me send you our video that tells you a little bit about it. And then it's extended into like, that one has parent testimonials in it as well or something, you know? Because if we were gonna spend the money and the time and they were already gonna do it, you know, it might not be that much more. If we were gonna do it, that would be my 2 cents. I mean, that is pricey. So I think we'd have to really be strategic about all the marketing and really be able to show exactly how we're going to use it and where and what we're already getting from this and what we plan on getting in the future, and that we're going to do it during certain times of the years and things like that. But I don't think we could do this and like maybe the billboard at the same time. We probably would have to
do one or the other.
Do one or the other. I would assume the Google searches, that's just going to have to be, that would be a no-brainer. Like we would have to do that just to stay present online. Okay.
So no action taken on that?
So we can suggest to
I'd like
yeah, I
maybe
think we
just
should.
fold it into the other
I think so.
proposal
Yeah.
and to take it to the board as part of that
Yeah.
proposal and consider and work with MC2 to flesh out some more information.
Yeah.
So I will move that we incorporate the video project in with the marketing contract and ask MT2 to establish more details about how this would be used.
Okay. Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Amber Brown, aye.
Cameron Films, aye.
Susan Dominigany, aye.
Maggie Buckley, aye.
Okay, approved. All right, executive director report.
Verbal report today. I've got a grant on my desk from MTSS Systems, having a new one out at Orange County that's due next week. So I'll be looking at that as a possibility. This is all part of the state's work to help address learning loss. So I'll be looking at that. We did have an MTSS grant about 5 years ago now. So we've done the first tier. This would be a second tier MTSS.
And do they just like message out, you guys are qualified for this grant, you can apply, or that's okay.
Yeah. So it came out of Orange County. Here's a grant applied by the 20th.
I think MTSS was a really good step for our school, and we need to kind of get back in the swing of things with that. So I'm all for it.
All right, great. So that's on the table. I looked at the K-12 strong workforce grant, but I can't see where it really fits us right now. I met with the local team, and that's sort of the career tech ed information that I've shared in the past. I met with a local team. We'll miss that deadline because it's Friday, and there really isn't a lot for a K-8 school that's very much focused on high school to junior college. So I will
in that specific grant, you mean?
In that specific grant. So I will continue to work with them because it's I may be just on the forefront of what they want to do but aren't doing yet, which is bringing it down into the lower grades.
Oh, so you're
really-
working with the ones that are actually,
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
gonna keep talking to them about that, and
okay,
so
nice.
possibly it'll be something that we'll be able to work on next year. The idea is really how are we preparing students for success in careers and preparing them to make the decisions that they need to make to decide the direction they want to go. And there's some career-oriented questionnaires and so forth for 8th graders, but really helping children to develop to understand what it is they like to do, even in 5th and 4th grade, is going to help them make good decisions about the direction they want to go in high school instead of doing whatever is popular. So, sorry.
No, that's true.
So really doing some work and thinking. We brainstormed a little bit last week, and I'm going to give them a couple of weeks, and then we'll bring it up again and see what other schools are doing and what we can do, because I feel like it's a really good fit for Blue Oak with all the practical skills and everything else that are so much a part of what we do.
I agree.
So the question just really is where to go. And then we do have our team now, interns. We talked about attendance and the struggles. So we do have our team of 2 interns that are working now with Emma, met with Sherry Haney at BCOE about attendance planning and how to support better attendance in school. And so they're beginning to take on cases of families that are struggling and meeting with them and talking to them about what they need in order to get their children to school. So process is beginning to work. So it's that's exciting to see. We may not see it in attendance yet, but we will. And attendance is also another one of those things that is down throughout the US. Actually,
we talked about that. Yeah,
we're still continuing. So I feel good that we're reaching out and doing work to improve it, even though it may not show up on the budget page. So,
yeah.
So that's the stuff that we've been looking at.
I think that's going to probably be a conversation we're having a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing else, right? We're good.
That's it.
All right. So the next meeting is Tuesday, November 9th, 4:15.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.